Alright, so we have one game on the market. You can see on my screen here, it's already sold 10,210 units. We may as well go on to a few other things before we start developing another game. So I'm going to show you here, if you go into the action part of your menu and you click on use item, you'll have your item list here. Right now the only item we have is Dead Bowl, so we can use that if you want. I'm going to use it here. It says you use the Dead Bowl. The energy of all your employees has been restored, and you will receive more research data. That's great, as long as we start developing. Alright, let's develop a new game. You know how to do that. Let's do another PC game. I know we have the Exodus that we can do, and also the Microx SX, but I like to wait for the IES, the Nintendo IES, that is, which is sort of a takeoff on the Nintendo NES, the original Nintendo. I like to wait for that one because it has a pretty good market share, and, well, it's Nintendo, and I'm sort of a fanboy. Alright, let's try out a PC adventure pirate game on normal direction. I'm going to use John Gamerson again, but here is another trick. As you can see, up in the top corner, it says Preve, right beside where John Gamerson's name is. You can see the word Preve and then in. That Preve means previous. He was the last person to be used for the game proposal. So generally you don't want to use the same person twice in a row. They don't enjoy that. They don't like being put on the same project or another project two times in a row. So a way to sort of use a glitch in this game is once you get to the screen, you hit the black button and then just hit OK again, and you'll come back to this screen and the Preve will be gone and he won't care. He'll be happy as a clown, if that's a real quote from anything. Let's move along. He's going to develop this now. He says, understood, adventure games are my specialty. That's fantastic. Just leave this to me. Alright, so he finished with 11 points on fun and 4 points on creativity. That's great. So we'll move through this a little bit. Alright, so my first game, this is just an announcement to my first game here. The first week's sales have just come in. So I sold 14,000 units in the first week. Sales ranking wasn't very high. We didn't make it on the charts this time. But as you start selling more, obviously you'll get through into the top 10, and that's always exciting for your employees. I think the morale goes up and they start developing better once you start making better games. So make better games, and then you make even better games because they enjoy it. Alright, so here's another event that can happen while you're developing a game. One of your employees approaches you and says, "Excuse me, I'd like to try increasing the creativity of our game in development. Could I have your permission to try?" So this can happen for all 4 stats. You can have someone who wants to try increasing the fun, the creativity, the graphics, or the sound. You kind of have to make educated choices here. We'll move to the next screen. And it says the cost for this is going to cost you $79,000. And do you really want to spend that much? If yes, you can move on. And now, on the next part here, you can see success is at 29% while you're using 20 research data. Beside that, the floppy disk symbol, it says 20 research data there. You can put that up by hitting the arrow beside it, but you can only use as much as you have, right? Do you really want to use enough to make your success rate go up to 80%? See, for me, it's going to cost 71 to do 80%, and when I use that, that's, a third of my data, a little bit more than a third, and I don't know if I want to do that right now, but I'm going to do it just for the sake of showing you how it works. So, success, the highest you can have is 80%. You see it turns blue there. Normally it was black for lower, but blue is as high as you get, 80%. As your employees get better and better and better further in the game, it costs less research data to do this, so it's better later in the game to do. So he's here working away. Success. Every once in a while it's a failure, so if that 20% out of what's left after the 80 is what he falls into. He'll fail, and then you'll get a bunch of bugs for your game that you have to debug at the end of the game. But that's not even really that bad of a thing, because when you debug your game, each bug will get you some more research data, so that's fine. Don't even worry about it if you already went into that. Alright, let's see how many he got. It's going pretty good. 8. Oh, he got me 20, which is pretty good. I'm going to have 27 after this, and I'm only 22% into the game. That's great. Alright, he thanks you for giving him a chance, and that's all well and good. Alright, so we're done 40% now. We're going to move into the beta development. Who should we put in charge of character design? Of course, we still have only these two guys to use, Steve Kingley and Jake Kirby. I'm going to use Jake again. As you can see, I used him previously already. I didn't use the little glitch trick here, so I'll use him anyways, and he's going to enjoy this anyways. Alright, so we got me 15 for that. Creativity's pretty high, thank you. You know, they always say to start increasing your high points even further, but I think it's better to actually have pretty level points for all the stats on your game, but whatever. Got a guy going pretty well there. Alright, so move into the final part of the game here. Gotta get some sound going. I'm gonna use Android again. She got me 16 points there, that's great. Alright, I got another person approaching me. She wants to increase the graphics in the game. Let's do it. Why not? Alright, she succeeded. How many did she get me? 27. Alright, so the game under development is complete. Gonna debug now. Alright. See me getting some research data. And the fiscal year is almost over, just warning me that we have to pay the staff at the end of March. Gotta make sure we have enough money. I'm definitely not gonna have much more than $100,000. But we'll check once this game's released, so good creativity. I broke my records on all the stats except for sound. Wow, I did pretty good. 25 in fun. That's not great, but it still is a new record, which is good. 64 in creativity, which is awesome, especially for the second game. And 52 in graphics, which is great as well. Let's change the title on this again. I'm going to call it Buccaneers. Alright. Buccaneers, a PC game. And I did much better that time, actually. I got 19 points. Pretty good. Still not good enough, but it's still the beginning of the game. Let's move along. Alright, my company's going at a nice pace. Pretty soon I may want to get a development license for a game console. It's not cheap, but you can sell a lot more than on PC, as I told you before. Alright, we're going to check and see how much our salary is here. So we got the first employee here, Noob, is $20,000. Then we got John, $20,000. Android is 26, and California is 35. So it's not much more than $100,000. So we'll be fine. I've got over $1 million, so I'll just let that roll through. Alright, okay, so Nintendo is announcing a new console. Great. This will be my IES. Yay! It looks like a Super Nintendo, but it's for some reason called the NES. Although I suppose in Japan, the original Nintendo actually did sort of look like that. What they called the original Famicom there. Famicom meaning family computer. Little random fact for you. Alright, 18,000. Okay. 1,018,000. Alright, so Buccaneers is finally on sale. Let's develop a new game here. Go to Development and New Game. Alright, so you click on Platform, and we're going to press the over arrow and get to IES. Okay, on the bottom of the screen here, you can see where it says license $800,000. So we have to pay that if we want to start developing for them. So I'm going to pay that because it's going to get us a lot more sales for them. And you can see their share is 41%, which is higher than the rest of them at the moment. So let's click on license negotiation down there. Looks like we've got enough capital. Alright, I'll give you a license and a development kit. Sweet. I hope you develop some games that will help promote our console. Good luck. We can develop for them now. Great.